Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for Coffee and Card at Home. So this is our final session using the Easter Friends stamp set, and we're going to have a go today at creating a birthday card using the images, just because obviously it does say Easter Friends, but it can obviously be used for various other cards as well. So we're going to do a birthday card, and I've done the 3 cute little ducklings with some little party hats on and a birthday sentiment. So I'm going to show you how to make that now. So you're going to need a C6 card base. This is Night of Navy, so that's half of an A4 sheet and then scored at 10.5 centimeters. I'm just going to burnish my fold on that, and then I have got a piece of basic white which has just been cut a little bit smaller than I normally do, so that you can see a little bit more of a card out around the outside edge. So that is 13.8 by 9.5 centimeters. So we're going to just work on our background first of all, because we're just going to create our grass here, and I'm using old olive for that, and then the little stamp which is the blades of grass. And we're just going to go sort of probably about a third of the way down, and we're just going to stamp a few of those. They don't have to be perfectly in line, they can overlap slightly if you want them to, but that's just giving my line of the grass. And then I'm just going to do a couple of extra ones there as well. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a dauber or a blending brush, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to ink up my ink pad with the old olive, and starting on my grid paper, I'm just going to blend the ink up onto my card base. So the reason we do that is just because we don't want any hard edges appearing. So take a bit more ink, start on the grid paper, and then blend your way up. And I'm just blending over the grass a little bit as well, over the blades of grass I should say. And then final bits, start on your grid paper and blend up. Try and keep an even pressure throughout if you can. And that's done. So just going to leave that for a second. And then I've just got some scraps of basic white to stamp my chick. Now I've got 3 chicks to do, which is quite a lot. So I'm just going to show you how to do one of them. So we're just going to ink up some Memento black ink and stamp the duckling onto our paper, our card, sorry. And then I'm just going to colour that in with some blends. Now on my first example I used Daffodil Delight, but I used the lighter shade first and then I used the darker shade to go over the cross hatched areas. But I decided to do it a little different this time. I've gone for a slightly darker shade. So I've used the dark Daffodil Delight and then blended with the lighter shade on the cross hatched areas this time. So, and where you've got those little kind of fluffy edges, I'm just going to obviously get a bit of colour on those as well to make the chick look fluffy. And I'm using the thicker end of my blends pen. And then I'm going to take my lighter shade and I'm just going to go over those cross-hatched areas. It's not making a massive difference, but just gives you a little bit of different definition. Then I'm going to use my thinner end to do the beak, and this is the dark shade of Pumpkin Pie, and the same for the feet. And then we need to cut that out. So because we don't have a die or a punch for this, we just need to do a little bit of fussy cutting, which I know is not quite everybody's thing, but if you just take your time, it should be fine. So the key to remember is to use a nice sharp pair of scissors, and our snips are perfect for this, which is what I always use. And remember that if you keep your blades fairly open rather than closing them completely up, and then twist your card as you're cutting, then you should hopefully avoid any jagged edges. I'm just leaving a slight white outline around that so that it looks much the same as when you're using a die or a punch. You just end up with a sort of a faint white outline around the image. Of course, if you don't like that, you could cut exactly up to the edge if you prefer. Rid of that piece. Tiny bit left to do. There we go. Now, nobody is going to want to watch me cut out 3 ducklings, so here's 2 more that I did earlier that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to get those put to the side for a second, because I'm just going to bring back a little bit of my card that I've just cut out so that I can stamp the hats. So this hat is actually a retired one. It's from one of our celebration sets, Counting Sheep. But if you don't have a stamp like this, then you could always just draw one. It's not too difficult to draw, just a triangle with kind of a fluffy bit on the top and spots if you want to. So I'm just taking 3 different colours. So this is Cherry Cobbler, the dark shade. I'm just going to colour in those spots and then a little bit on the tufty bit. And next one, I'm doing Pumpkin Pie, again darker shade, and a little bit on the tufty bit. And then finally, this is Night of Navy, the dark shade. There we go. So then I just need to cut those out, which thankfully these are not too tricky. Again, leaving a little white edge all the way around. Just takes a few seconds just to get these cut out. And then we will be able to start assembling the card. There we go, so that's my 3 hats done. So I'm just going to bring back my background, and then I'm going to stick 2 ticks on just with Tombow. So one on this side and another one over here. And then this last one, I'm just going to use some dimensionals to mount that. So at the minute, I'm just using up a lot of my scraps around the edge. I don't like to waste anything if I can. So these are some of the edge pieces of my dimensionals I'm just using up at the minute. And then that duck, I'm just going to pop him a bit lower down, and so he's overlapping that one. And then I just need to get some mini dimensionals just to put the hats on. And then I'm just going to put those on their heads, just at a slight jaunty angle. And then last one. There we go. And then the only thing left to do then is just to stamp my sentiment, which I'm using Birthday Wishes. Again, this is from a retired set, but you could use any birthday sentiment that you've got to hand. And you could stamp it to the side or in the middle, entirely up to you. I think I'm going to go in the middle there, just above their heads. There we go. And then the last thing to do is just to stick that onto our card base. So we're just going to stick that on with some Tombow. Bring back my card base. And remembering that I've got a slightly bigger border all the way around. And just line that up nice and straight. And press that down. Oops. And that's then finished. If I bring back the other one I did earlier, you'll see they're slightly different with the different colours of the chicks. But I hope you'll have fun having a go at making that. They all look like they're toddling off to their party, don't they? So just a quick recap of what we've used. So we have used the Easter Friends stamp set and used the duckling and the blades of grass. We have also used the counting sheep stamp set just for the party hat, and then the sentiment I used from Itty Bitty Birthdays, which is this one here, Birthday Wishes. Inks, we've used Old Olive for our stamping the grass and blending, and then for stamping our images we've used Memento black ink. And then the blends I've used are light and dark Daffodil Delight, the dark pumpkin pie, dark Night of Navy, and the dark cherry cobbler. And that is it, with a little bit of Tombow and some dimensionals. So I hope you'll have a go at doing that. That is our final week using the Easter Friends stamp set, and we'll be having a week off next week because it's the bank holiday, and then starting a new series of coffee and cards where I'm hoping to create some nice mail cards for this one, which is using the Let's Set Sail stamp set and the coordinating boat punch that goes with it. So thanks for joining me. Have a good couple of weeks, and I'll see you after the bank holiday. Take care. Bye.